Something interesting is happening in the Huntsville market right now. Home prices across Madison County are up more than 6% compared to this time last year. In Huntsville, the average sales price jumped nearly $48,000. But at the same time, inventory continues to grow, sales are slowing in some communities, and buyers are gaining leverage in certain parts of the market. So are we headed towards a buyer's market, a seller's market, or something in between? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening across Madison County, which includes Huntsville, Madison, Harvest, Meridianville, and Owens Crossroads, so that you can understand these numbers and what they mean if you're thinking about buying or selling in 2026. And if you're thinking about selling this year, don't make the mistake of using last year's market to make today's decisions. The reality is that Harvest is behaving differently than Meridianville, Madison is behaving different than Huntsville, and Owens Crossroads is telling a completely different story than both. That's why generic pricing advice simply doesn't work anymore. If you'd like a personalized strategy based on your neighborhood, your price range, and what's happening in today's market, click on the link in the description and schedule a seller strategy call with me today. We'll look at the data, discuss your goals, and build a plan designed specifically for your situation. So we'll get into it. Real estate market update for May 2026 for Madison County, Alabama. That's going to cover I'm going to cover the entire county, the city of Huntsville, Madison, Harvest, Meridianville, and Owens Crossroads. These are just some of the prominent suburbs of the Huntsville area. And so I'm going to go over the May 2026 data and compare that to May of 2025. All right, starting off with Madison County, there are currently 2,353 active listings, 1,174 pending, and in the month of May, there were 693 homes sold for an average sales price of $400,000. That is up from 377 in May of 2025. As you can see, the number of homes sold countywide is down a little bit, but like I said, 6.1% increase in sales price, our average sales price, and the days on market is a little down this year compared to last year. It's just a 4-day difference, not much. But as you can see, Madison County still strong, still a lot of listings, still a lot of options for buyers. County-wide, it just depends on where you want to live, based on certain criteria as far as what type of property you want to live in, what type of commute you want. But as it has been over the last couple of years, Madison County is still strong real estate market-wise. Moving on to Huntsville City, there are 994 active listings, 443 pending, and last month there were 280 sold. That is down about 26 from last year, but the average sales price has gone up $48,000. A lot of this may be due to some of the new construction in the area. There's been a push for new construction in Huntsville, the northeast side of Huntsville, really, a little in the southeast as well. But we're seeing a lot more of the new construction in Huntsville city limits. Average days on market, just about the same. But the biggest change for Huntsville City is the sales price going up $48,000 since last year. City of Madison, this one's kind of steady. There's not much change from May of 2025. 136 homes sold. Average sales price only went up $6,000. So as it was higher than Huntsville, it didn't move much over the last year. Still a little bit higher, as we can see, the last $400,000, but only $26,000 more than Huntsville, which is a little different than it's been the previous months. Average days on market still 55, no change there. There are 359 active listings and 210 pending. But right now, Madison seems to be the most stable across the board compared to the rest of the areas that I'm going to cover. Harvest, still one of the most interesting areas in the Huntsville area. There are currently 187 active listings, 106 pending, 45 homes sold last year. That's up a little bit, about 6 from May of 2025. Average sales price up about $25,000 to percent increase. Now, because this harvest seems to be an area that people are starting to realize, if I could deal with the little bit longer commute to like Redstone or whatever, I get more property and a same type of house that I can get for Huntsville for a lot cheaper. As you can see, average sales price is $345,000. That's up $25,000, but it's still a lot less than Huntsville City and Madison City. So if you're looking in the harvest area as a buyer, the one thing that you have to be aware of is properties are getting under contract a little bit quicker than if you were looking at, say, Huntsville or Madison. So 32 days on market, that's, I think, the shortest of all the areas that we're going to cover. So that's just something you have to keep in mind. If you're a seller, know that your property is probably going to move a little bit quicker than the surrounding areas. Meridianville, this is one that kind of surprised me this month. There are 201 active listings, 82 pending, and then 47 sold. So days on market is one thing that surprised me. Almost 70 days, 69 days. So that's up from 53 year prior. There are less homes sold, and the average sales price went down also, about $9,000. This could give buyers a little bit more leverage when it comes to putting an offer on a property. If you want to live in the Meridianville area and you see that a property has been sitting on the market a long time, it could give you a little bit more leverage as far as the offer you submit. You can kind of try to negotiate more than, say, a property in harvest. So that's just what's going on in the Meridianville area. It seems to be the one area that buyers have a little bit more leverage, and we'll see in the next one, Owens Crossroads. It's just like Huntsville and Madison. We'll go ahead and move on. But 155 active listings in Owens Crossroads, 101 pending, 62 sold. This is down from last year, 13 different. And the average sales price also went down about $30,000. We're at $446,000 right now, but properties are starting to move faster in Owens Crossroads compared to 2025. Just seems to be a hot spot. People, when they relocate here, realize that Owens Crossroads is a nice area, and there's also a lot of new construction, out towards the east part of Owens Crossroads. So, properties are going under contract. That when you buy a new build, it says 0 days on market, and that affects the entire average when it comes to the entire city's days on market. So that could be why that's lower, but all in all, things are moving quicker. Average sales price is down in Owens Crossroads. For an area price comparison, as we can see, Owens Crossroads is the highest still at $446,000. Madison slightly behind at $426,000, and then Huntsville has broke the $400,000 last month. Harvest and Meridianville still under $350,000. So as you can see, if you're willing to move or willing to travel a little bit longer, your commute take a little bit longer to get to wherever you work, Harvest and Meridianville, price point's lower, and you probably can get a little bit more of a larger property, or just as nice house or bigger out there at a lower sales price. But if you want to live in the city, you just got to know that you're going to pay a little bit more. So that's what this graph really shows, is depending on what you want, you can you'll have to come to terms with how much it's going to cost. All right, so what does all this mean for sellers? Prices are in county-wide are up, still strong. As we can see, Owens Crossroads down a little bit, and that's just something that may change next month. But as a whole, countywide, homeowners still have a good amount of equity gains based on increasing prices. So Harvest and Huntsville show the greatest appreciation in price. Seems to be the two places that more people are moving. They're not, from what I'm seeing, like Madison City Schools isn't a big selling point for a lot of the people that are moving here right now. And Huntsville is really exploding as far as the number of homes and everything that's being sold. So correctly priced homes continue to move quickly. That's going to be the case from here on out. Buyers are being more cognizant of sales price, and so you can't just list things way overpriced like you used to be able to and have negotiation room. Buyers just want a straightforward, this is what the list price is, so this is what I'm going to offer. That's kind of what's going on right now. For buyers, inventory is growing. There's still 2,300 properties on the market. There's more choices countywide. Just depends on what you want and where you want to live. But you do have a good inventory of choices. Meridianville, like I mentioned earlier, offers negotiating leverage because of longer market times. Great place to live, and if you want to commute a little bit longer, you can have more leverage when it comes to submitting an offer on a property out there. So, and as always, like I've said in the last couple months, you need to act quick when it comes to Harvest. That seems to be the place where homes are moving the fastest. It's probably the best location when it comes to living right outside of Huntsville. Not too far. Meridianville is kind of a little bit further. New Market's definitely a little farther north. So Harvest is a place to be, kind of close to New Cliff Farms and all the other shopping locations there on Highway 72, just north of that. So as far as market conditions across Madison County, still trends towards a balanced to seller market. Buyers don't have a lot of leverage except for in the Meridianville area countywide, so still leaning towards the seller market. Rising inventory gives buyers a little bit more options, so it's more balanced, I would say, because sellers are having to price their home correctly. Buyers also don't have a lot of leverage when it comes to offering. There's not a lot of negotiating going on, maybe a couple thousand, down or so, but from what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of multiple offers. There's not a lot of, $15,000, $20,000 below offers happening. Everybody just seems to be kind of meeting in the middle. And of course, the demand remains healthy with 2,300 listings on the market and 1,100 under contract. Means buyers are still buying, and that's a good thing for the Huntsville market. So all in all, that another great month here in Huntsville. May still another strong month, a little bit down from 2025, but that's going to happen. It fluctuates here and there. We'll see what June does as we move into the summer months. But if you're thinking about moving, think about selling or buying in the Huntsville area in the next 3 to 6 months, reach out. Phone number is 256-542-0226. I'd love to meet with you and build a strategy that can help you either sell or buy a house and not lose a ton of money. That's the overall goal of everybody when it comes to real estate, and I don't want that to be you. So if you want to meet, you can also click the link in the description and select the kind of call you'd like to set up or meeting you'd like to set up, whether buyer or seller, and we can work out a strategy to help you get to where you want to be in your real estate goals. If you're thinking about selling, I made the video just for you, and that's right here. These are the 5 mistakes that you want to avoid when selling your house. So go ahead and click the link, and I'll see you over there.